Again, now bringing this right leg, drawing it up towards you. Hey everybody, welcome back for another week of stretching. I am so excited to have you here. So today we're just going to be doing a couple key stretches to alleviate that mid to lower back pain that we all may experience from time to time. So I hope this helps. We will just jump right in. For those of you that are new here, hi, my name's Caitlin. I am so excited to have you here. I am just providing weekly videos that are non-yoga related videos for those of us that feel convicted about practicing yoga just from a Christian standpoint and are looking for that alternative way of stretching that not only honors our body, but honors the Lord as well. So if that is you, thank you so much for joining. I really look forward to stretching with you all. Today, we're not really gonna be needing much. It's some quick but effective stretches to alleviate that back pain. So all we're gonna be needing is just a blanket or a pillow, and that's about it. So I will grab a cup of coffee and I will meet you over there. Of time that I went over, got a cup of coffee, came back, it's like a torrential downpour, and if any of you are from Florida, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So I hope that the audio, you can hear me right, but yeah. Okay, so we are going to start out by coming to a comfortable seated position. If sitting here is a little uncomfortable in your hip and your hips are really tight, causing your knees to come up slightly, then that's where we can take this blanket, drop it right under your hips. That way it elevates your hips higher than your knees and you're able to have that tall, neutral spine and sit here comfortably. So we're just going to begin by warming up our back and opening up any of those muscles that are holding on to that tension. So just coming to that comfortable seated position with that tall, neutral spine, we're going to begin by twisting our torso over towards the left knee and pausing here, just gentle twist, not going too deep. And making sure we're taking full deep breaths and not holding on to our breathing. And again, with that tall, neutral spine, shifting our torso over towards that right knee now. And coming through center, we're going to do it one more time, taking the twist a little bit deeper, maybe placing that right hand on the left knee, and placing that left hand behind you for support, twisting a little bit deeper. If it's comfortable for you, you can take your gaze over that left shoulder, twisting a little bit deeper, again, not holding on to our breath. And coming through center, twisting open to the right side one more time, taking that right hand now, placing it behind you for support, left hand on that right knee, and giving yourself a little bit gentle, deeper stretch. And again, if it feels comfortable for you, taking your gaze over that right shoulder. And gently coming back to center. Now again, maintaining that tall neutral spine, we're going to take our hands, placing them behind our head. We're going to gently shift our weight over towards that right side. Not going too deep, we're going to check in with this left hip, making sure that it's pressed down onto the mat and it's not coming up, but planted on your mat. Again, we're just warming up and engaging your core coming up to center and keeping that core engaged, shifting over to the left. Again, checking in with this right hip now, making sure it's planted on the mat. And we're going to do that one more time each side, core engaged, coming up to center and shifting over towards the right. Again, making sure you're not holding onto your breath. And one more time, engaging that core, coming up to center and leaning over towards the left. And slowly with control, engaging that core, coming up to center. We're going to now keep that tall neutral spine. This time now we're going to take our right hand, placing it down to the right for support. We're going to draw this left arm up and over, making sure that our shoulder is back and down into place and not up by our ear. And with that tall neutral spine, we're going to shift our weight over towards the right. Again, keeping that left hip planted to the ground. We're just going to pause where it feels comfortable for you. You're going to feel this stretch all along your left side body. So just pausing where that stretch feels comfortable for you, and you're able to relax into the stretch without holding your breath, but just gently easing into this position. So we're going to pause here for a few seconds. So if you want to take that right fingertips, walk them out, and just rest a little bit deeper into the stretch, you can do so. But if staying up here is comfortable for you, you can do that as well. It's just whatever is comfortable for you and your body. And then slowly with control coming up through center, we're going to now place the left hand down on the left side for support and drawing that right arm up and over. Again, just checking in with this right shoulder, making sure this right hip is planted to the ground and shifting our weight over towards the left. Again, pausing where it feels good for you. If it's uncomfortable for you to keep your gaze straight, you can lower that gaze towards that left hand. But again, just pausing where you feel comfortable. If you would like, again, you can walk those fingertips out and relax a little bit deeper. And one more time, we're coming up through center and now taking the stretch a little bit deeper. We're going to try coming down to our forearm if that's comfortable for you. But again, just checking in with this shoulder, checking in with this left hip, making sure that it's planted on the mat. And again, if it's uncomfortable for your gaze to look straight, you can draw that gaze down to that right hand. Making sure we're not holding on to our breath, but we're just breathing naturally. And slowly coming up through center, switching sides. If you're holding onto your breath, it's a good indicator that you've gone a little bit too deep in the stretch. And just coming out of it slightly, coming back to a spot where you're able to just relax, but you're still getting that nice deep stretch. Slowly coming up to center. So our back should start to feel really nice and warmed up. So we're gonna go to a little bit deeper of stretches. Again, your range of motion might not look like mine, or yours might be a little bit deeper than mine. So it really is just about finding that sweet spot for you and not looking at me for a guide of how deep you should go, just a guide of the stretch. So for this next stretch, we're gonna begin by keeping that tall neutral spine, making sure that both sitting bones are planted to the mat. We're gonna fold forward, and then when you get to that spot where you feel like your sitting bones are coming up off the mat, you're gonna pause. And then once you find that comfortable position, you're going to lower down to your forearms, rounding at your back now, and placing your forehead onto either your hands stacked on top of each other or grabbing a pillow, placing your forehead onto the pillow, and just really allow gravity to relax the upper part of your spine, working its way down to your tailbone. So really the key to this is just relaxing into this position, not holding on to the tension in your neck, but just allowing your head to rest either on your hands or a pillow. So we're gonna begin by walking our hands out to the center and then shifting our hands over to the right side, checking in with that left hip, making sure it's planted on the ground. And then when you feel that stretch all along the left side body, we're gonna pause here. And then the key to this, again, is resting your head towards the ground. It doesn't have to touch the ground. Just allowing your head to hang heavy so that it alleviates any of that tension that you're holding onto in your neck and upper back. And if you want to take this stretch a little bit deeper, you can place this left hand directly on top of that right hand and fold forward as you were. And then slowly removing that left hand, gently walking those fingertips over to the left side and pausing again where you feel that nice gentle stretch, that stretch all along that right side body, and making sure this right hip is pressed into the mat. And releasing your forehead towards the ground and pausing here. And again, if you want to take this stretch a little bit deeper, you can take this right hand, place it directly on the left. And slowly removing that right hand, walking those fingertips towards the center and coming back up to a seated position. Now we're going to remove the blanket, coming up to a standing position. So we're going to begin by coming to a wide stance. You can't really see my feet, but my feet are pointed straight ahead. So we're going to keep our feet pointing straight ahead, keep that tall neutral spine, pausing where you feel that stretch in the hamstrings, and then just reaching towards the floor. If you can't touch the floor, that's completely fine. You can bring your hands to the tops of your knees or your shins, wherever it feels comfortable for you. And whenever you're ready, we're going to round at our back and fold forward, and placing the hands directly underneath you for support. Really important, I know you can't see me, but it's really important to allow our head to hang really heavy. It opens up the gaps in between our spine, and it just allows all of that tension to be relieved. You're able to go deeper into the stretch and alleviate any of that discomfort that you're holding on to. So folding forward, we're gonna allow our head to hang heavy. And just pausing here. We're going to start by walking our fingertips over towards that right leg and grabbing hold of the right ankle or the right shin, wherever you are comfortable. And to take the stretch a little bit deeper, we're going to take that left hand, reach it over towards that right hand, grab hold of it if you're able to, and then just lean that left shoulder towards the ground. That way you're going to feel that stretch all along the left side body, and it feels really good for that back tension that we all experience from time to time. Again, just making sure that we're not holding onto our breath, but we're just resting comfortably here. And whenever you're ready, releasing that left hand, shifting our weight over towards the left side, grabbing hold of either your ankle or your shin. Again, taking that right hand, grabbing over towards that left, then drawing that right shoulder towards the ground. And releasing that right hand, coming back to center and coming back down to a seated position. We're going to turn sideways on our mat and slowly coming down to laying flat on our back. We're going to hug our knees into our chest gently. We're going to release this right leg, drawing it flat onto the ground as you hold that left knee in towards your chest. And again, not holding on to our breath, we're going to take that right hand, placing it on that left knee, gently drawing that right knee over across our body as you check in with this left shoulder, making sure that it's planted to the ground. And if it's comfortable for you, you can extend that left arm as you follow your gaze over that left hand. Slowly engage your core, drawing that left knee back to center and hugging it in towards your chest. And again, now bringing this right leg, drawing it up towards you, giving both knees a hug, releasing that left leg now to the ground. And now taking this left hand, placing it onto your right knee. We're going to again keep this right shoulder planted to the ground as you draw that right knee over towards the left. And again, extending this right arm if it's comfortable for you and followed by your gaze. And engaging your core, drawing that right leg back to center, hugging both knees in towards your chest, and coming back up to that seated position. One last stretch, we're gonna come up to our knees. If this is uncomfortable for your knees, you can take this blanket and wedge a little portion of it right behind your knees as you sink your hips down. So we're gonna begin by having that tall neutral spine, interlacing our fingertips. We're gonna press those fingertips out away from you as you round out our back, drawing those shoulder blades away from each other and lowering that chin to chest. Really focus on pressing those hands away and drawing those shoulder blades away from each other. If it feels comfortable for you, you can make that C shape in your spine, maybe taking your hips out to the right as you draw that right shoulder down towards that right hip, and taking that left hip out to the side as you draw that left shoulder down towards that left hip. And doing it a couple more times. And taking your hands behind you as you extend those hands, lifting your chest, lifting your gaze, and drawing those hands away from your hips. And coming to center. So we are done. I hope that that was beneficial for you in alleviating any pain that you may be experiencing in your back. I know from time to time, I always have back pain one way or the other, so this is always really beneficial for me. I hope that it is for you and I'm not just doing this for myself. I, again, always enjoy doing these videos. I'm just so thankful to have the opportunity to be doing them. I do have some really exciting things planned. I know I said that the last video, but I'm just so thankful for the support, and I couldn't be doing this or moving forward with any of this without the support of you guys and the guidance of the Lord, most importantly. So I'm like a giddy little kid just thinking about all the things that He's just kind of put into place, and I can't believe it. It's all really exciting and really cool. So I honestly cannot wait to share it with you. If you aren't following me on Instagram, that's the quickest way to get these updates. I'll put my Instagram handle wherever in the video. But yeah, thank you again so much for watching, and I will see you next week.